you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Yep, good to see you.
How's the family?
Good?
Good. Cattle doing good this year?
No.
Yeah, prices killed us all, didn't it? That's gonna be a rough one to recover from. Yeah. Well, overall, how'd weaning go this year?
Not bad.
You had some complications last year, but
Yeah, no doubt. A few.
was your
A few.
death loss all right this year? Or
Oh, it wasn't the best.
wasn't the best?
No.
I guess we can all say that the drought kind of hit us this year. There's a drought in North Dakota, by the way. Yeah, well, I brought this product from JD and Livestock Innovations, and it helps with the weaning process, which is one process we often overlook when we're thinking about where we lose a lot of weight in our calves and where death loss can come, and a lot of respiratory infections start right from the weaning process. So, mind if I talk to you about it?
No, let's go ahead.
Alright, well, I've got a short video I'll show you also, but the gist of these is it goes in the nose of the calf, and it acts as a barrier so they can't suck off their mom's udders. And so they still have physical contact with the mother, but they're cut off from the milk. So it's a two-step process, and it lowers their stress, and when you lower their stress, it can help lower a lot of the all the respiratory infections that can come with that stress. So I'm just going to start this video in a little bit. The first 30 seconds are all fluff anyway.
To join our lab to work on his PhD, and Derek asked what calves really complain about. What is it that bothers them? Is it the loss of the mother, or is it the loss of the milk? So we thought about ways you could take away the milk. You could put a bra on the cow, or you could maybe give a hormone to interfere with milk production, or you could put these little nose tags in, and it keeps the calf from nursing on the cow. So we knew those devices were available, and we brought them in to see what would happen as far as the weaning process. Well, we put tags in at sort of stage 1, and we watched to see what happened. Taking away the milk, it didn't cause any distress. And we said, okay, let's now do the separation and see what happens. And nobody complained. We already weaned them. If you shut off the milk for 4 days or 5 days, they're already weaned.
I would definitely recommend it because of the fact that you get away from the sickness problem and the pacing and the bawling and everything else, and it just works. It works excellent.
This year we decided to use the weaning paddles again. I like how much less stress there is once you take the paddles out. They go on a lot faster. There's less bawling. This year there's virtually no pacing of the pen.
It replicates what we'd expect to see in nature. Most mammals are programmed to know that one day milk is going to disappear. What they're not programmed to understand is that milk and mother disappear on the same day. That just typically doesn't happen. So with this two-stage weaning, using those nose flaps, we just replicated what would happen in sort of the natural weaning process.
We've been doing it probably for about 8 years now, and our interest in using them was really because of my research in respiratory disease and the understanding that respiratory disease is a complex. It's not just about the pathogens, but it's also what goes on with the animals. And that's where I had an interest in weaning stress as being an important contributor to respiratory disease. So for us in our own herd, in the last 7 or 8 years, we haven't treated a single animal for respiratory disease.
Out of the 150 calves, I would treat probably 30 minimum for some kind of respiratory infections and stuff. And once we started using the nose paddles, I never treated one. And I still don't to this day. Now I wean them, put them in the pens, and I never treat a calf. That to me says something's working.
The 2 days after weaning, traditionally, in the abrupt separation, we see calves walk about 25 miles in those 2 days. With the two-stage weaning, they're only walking 10 miles. The two-stage weaned calves spend 25% more time at the feed bunk. Every study that we've done, the week after weaning, two-stage weaned calves significantly outperform other calves.
When we started using nose paddles, we noticed immediately the calves would eat. They'd be right into eating the hay, drinking the water, and they would, they would bawl a little bit off, but very little. At nights you could go out and it was just like there wasn't an animal in the yard. To put the paddles in is nothing. So I would recommend it to anybody. I would just never cold wean.
Two-stage weaning is a very simple process. You have to sort the cows from calves, run the calves through the chute, and you insert a plastic nose flap. It's like twisting open a plastic bread clip. They just twist apart, they're flexible. Stick one side in a nostril and flip the other side of the nostril, and they just hang. They're just to serve as a physical impediment to getting the teat in the mouth. And leave them in for 4 days, 5 days, and bring the calves back through the chute, take out the clips, the nose flaps, and sort the cows and calves, and then wean. I get a lot of opportunities to talk to producers about this procedure. And I go on, I'll give them the science, I'll show them the results, and I often tell them, I say, you know what, you don't have to trust me, you don't have to trust the science, just do your own experiment at home. Just wean some of your calves with 2-stage, and some of your calves traditional. Put them in the same pen, and you watch the results. You'll be able to see with your own eyes the difference between those two groups of calves. Half of your calves are going to be bawling and walking around, not eating, and the other half of the calves that have been done with the 2-stage wean are going to be content calves. They're going to be eating, ruminating, resting, not bawling, and not aimlessly walking around the pen. It's so clear. So do your own test at home. Just do part of it, and you'll see the benefits.
So here's the video that Quiet Lean allows us to show with their product. Do you have any questions over the video first?
Well, okay, so how often do one of these fall out?
On the reviews, it's been very low. Out of heads of 100, they've always seen maybe 1 or 2 fall out.
And what's the price point?
You can buy them. They are bags of 25 for $50, so they're about $2 a piece.
And they're reusable.
And they're reusable, so if you think you use them 2 years, then that's $1 a piece, and 4 years, it's 50 cents a piece. So as long as they're durable, they're reusable, they're flexible. Our competitors, a lot of the reviews I've seen on theirs, there's Value Vet Supplies, theirs are too small, and so all of the reviews are showing that they're rubbing the noses raw and that they aren't fitting, they're too stiff, they're hard to put in. So we've made ours flexible and comfortable for the calf. We've overcome that. Since it's a one-piece design, there's not much to break on it. It's one piece of plastic. I mean, there's not a whole lot that can go wrong with that. With some of the other weaning tags, they have like a screw where you can tighten and loosen them, and there's a lot that can go wrong and can break in there. So.
Is there any data to support that actually removing the milk is actually the key to improving respiratory distress?
I'm sorry. I believe it's a lot related to they're on the feed bump more, they're walking less, their stress levels are down, and this product and helping with keeping more weight on them, keeping them on the feed bunk, keeping them from stressing and walking around much, they were overall healthier, which is also going to help with the respiratory. The stress is what can lead to the respiratory problems.
You think there's any benefit to the cow?
I believe if the calf is bawling and the calf is stressed out, it's going to stress the mom out even more. And so the calmer and quieter the calves are, the less stressed the cows are going to be as well.
So $2, and so one concern would be saturation of the market. So if I can only, I guess what I'm getting at is how many would you recommend if we have 15,000 mother cows in my county, how many would you recommend me having on hand?
Well, if you just want to start off with a small order and see how they work, I can get them to you within 2 to 3 business days if you start seeing a demand, and we can supply you as your need becomes available.
Do you know what my price would be wholesale?
The wholesale price is $50 for 25. So then after that, you can mark them up whatever you feel comfortable.
So I'll have to mark them up. What's the competitor at? Do you know what their retail price is at?
The Value Vet Supply is $1.90. It's a little bit cheaper, but the customers weren't happy with the product. There's another one that has a screw that allows you to tighten and loosen it, and they're wanting about $12 a paddle. And so this is a good.
So this is $2 to me, which that means I'm 10 cents more expensive at break even than the other competitor.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So
sir.
for me to make a 30-point margin, I have to sell for $2.60.
Yes,
right?
sir. And that depends they come packaged in 25 already. So if you mark them up per bag or per tag,
I
that'd
see.
be up to you.
So I can label them on myself and sell them individually.
We don't. No, sir. Sorry, we sell them by bag. So
Okay.
then yes, you'd mark them up by bag.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in terms of, do you think? I mean, I know the video is kind of a feel-good video, right? I mean,
Yeah, the
showed some
music and
calves, and
everything.
it went after. But in terms of, one of the scenarios that I would walk through is that the majority of producers in that area, are they retaining ownership of their calves all the way in the market? Or are they actually weaning calves and selling it to the feed yard?
They're majority cow-calf operations, and they sell them straight into the market. Yes, sir. Feedlots are not a big deal up there like they are here.
Sure.
Mhm.
Well, the reason I say that is because then this becomes much more valuable to a retained ownership person
Yes, sir.
that feeds their own in a slat barn or whatever it may be up there. So.
Yeah, and that's why I chose that region, as I believe it'd be more beneficial to them than a feedlot setting. And North Dakota is very low on feedlots. They're mostly pasture because they have a lot of good grass and a lot of open pasture. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I don't have any other questions. I'll try some out.
All right. Well, we'd love to get you. Would you like to start with a small order and see how they work in your region, and we can follow up?
Yeah, I guess if I did 10 bags, would you guarantee buyback if I couldn't sell them within 6 weeks?
Yes, sir. We sure can do that.
There we go.
All right. Well, it was great to make a deal with you. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
You can